Greetings, people. This is Thunder. Hope everybody's having a good day. Although that gets to be kind of cliche, doesn't it? But anyway, I hope everybody's feeling balanced. Let's put it that way. And which leads me to the topic for today, which is energy. And I have this saying that I use continually. People have heard me over and over, probably ad nauseum. It's all about energy. So I wanted to explain that today, and I wanted to explain to you how everything in the universe, everything that we perceive, everything that we can see or not see, is basically energy. And it's called by different names. You have the Chinese, which call it Primordial Chi, and you have the Japanese, which call it Ki, or Ki, Ki, and it exists around us in this etheric realm, or this viscous, non-seeable energy field. And everything is about that energy. And I've talked about energy in other contexts. For instance, I've talked about the energy of the yin and the yang. And I've talked about Tantra, where two people can have union, sexual union, and use that energy to raise their consciousness. I've talked about meditation, breathing. And everything is based on energy, and even your belief system, okay? And who you are as a person, what you believe, your environment, what you surround yourself with. Everything is about this energy, and you project energy, and you receive energy. And the Earth can either be in balance or out of balance, and you might feel it on an energy level. Or should I say the world, the planet, the world, either or, can be in or out of balance, and you might feel it on an energy level. And how you breathe is important, because if you breathe into your chest all the time instead of the lower abdomen, then you're going to be more stressed out. So even breathing is important. Now when you breathe, it's not just about breath or oxygen, but it's about this energy that you take into your energy field, or your aura, or your chakra systems, which I've talked about before, which are energy centers. So it's all about energy. And I think that it's important for people to know that some of the problems that we have, as well as some of the good things that we have, are caused by energy and how people perceive energy, or how people project energy. And that energy, like I say, can come from a belief system. Now let's say, for example, that you were raised in a certain way to believe, let's say, in a negative pattern, or a hateful pattern, or maybe a religious organization that was hateful, or just an environment. It doesn't even have to be a religious organization, but you formed a belief system, and so you walk around with this energy from that belief system, okay? You walk around with this energy that's in your pattern, because all of us and all of our patterns coincide with each other. Now a pattern would be in your energy field, or your aura, and what you carry around with you in the form of negative or positive energy, the preponderance of yin or the preponderance of yang. And again, I've said that yin represents the feminine, which we have inside of us as males, And the females have yin energy, or yang energy, which is the male energy. So each person, whether you're a male or female, has the opposite energy plus the energy that you are. In other words, if you're a female, you're yin, but you also have yang energy. And if you're a male, you're yang, but you have yin, which is female energy. Yin and yang. And so that's used in the inner alchemical process of meditation. I've talked about this before, where you weave these two energies, and what you do is you feel the feminine within yourself, and then you feel the masculine, and it's kind of like an inner romance, but it's an energy thing. And it's kind of like a shape-shifting, an internal shape-shifting. And that is just an example of how we use energy in a good way. Now, the reason that I was kind of thinking about energy too is because the world, or the planet, seems to be, when I say it gets to critical mass, or it gets to a point of critical mass, I mean it's like a preponderance of yin or yang. It's not balanced, okay? And you can feel that. And so the problem with some of the situations that are facing us in the world today, or that people are imbalanced, or that they're using their belief system or that energy and projecting it on other people in a certain way. And there seems to be a preponderance of this negative energy, or this yin energy. Now, I don't want people to think that yin is always negative. Yin is female, yin is dark, yin is soft, yin is flowing, yin is of those characteristics. It's cool. Now, yang, on the other hand, is hot, okay, and it's penetrating, where yin is receiving, yang is penetrating, and it's fire, and it's hardness, and it's opposite of yin. So you have hard and soft, fast and slow. And you can't categorize it exactly, because you have a little bit of yin and yang and a little bit of yang and yin. It's like the circle with the two sides, that one side is dark and one side is light, dark being yin, light being yang, with the little dot in there like an eye on each side of the opposite energy. Everybody's seen the yin-yang sign, I think. So when we get to the point of, let's say we're doing meditation, we think about the primordial chi, we think about the energy, and we think about taking that into our body. If we're doing like something like a practice like Tai Chi or Qi Gong, which is a balancing of energy, or a taking of energy into your system and getting rid of stagnant energy. So there's active, living, nourishing energy, or nourishing chi, and then there's stagnant, which we want to remove. So we do that by certain breathing exercises. So my point here is that I'm just explaining all the different ways that we run into energy, or that energy surrounds us. So if we keep that in mind, then we're going to always be in that mental state of realizing that everything's energy. So if somebody projects some kind of negative energy at us, we'll feel it, or not be dumbed down so that we don't feel it. Or if somebody projects good energy, loving energy, or positive energy, then we'll feel that too. People shut down their senses in this world that we live in. They shut down their energy senses. They close up. Their chakras shrink. They their energy centers close up. So you have to do meditation and breathing to open up these energy centers. And it would be really good if you looked at your belief systems to see if your belief system is one that is surrounding you with some kind of negative energy or blocking a flow. Now that seems to be something that happens sometimes, is that you'll block a flow of energy by, you'll put the block there yourself by thinking in a negative way or dwelling on something too much, whereas if you just release it and let the energy flow, it overcomes whatever that block may be. It's like water filling up behind a dam. You know, the dam's there, but if the dam's not there, the water's going to flow right on through, isn't it? So that's the same way with thoughts here, you know, thoughts, actions, reactions. I mean, it's all, especially reactions. And sometimes we all get caught up in reactions to certain kinds of energy. I do, everybody does. And the Taoist view of that is to not get caught up in a web of energy that is projected that may not be good for you, and to kind of scan oneself and see if that energy is, if you have any kind of blockages or any kind of that energy within yourself. So it's a constant going with the flow would be a good way to describe where you want to be. And keeping things in balance. And you do that by certain techniques and certain ways of thinking. Meditation, Tai Chi, awareness, being in presence, all kinds of techniques. And some techniques like Kriya Yoga mean movement of energy. So this energy can be used for healing yourself and others, and projected for healing others. Now, for example, when you're doing Qigong or Qigong, you are purifying your own Qi or your own energy and healing yourself. And you might do practices for a long time to heal yourself before you ever direct your energy or intention towards healing somebody else. You can do it in different ways. And see, that's what this world needs, is people that project this certain kind of healing energy, this balancing energy, and have the primordial chi totally saturated into their body so that they can project it out to others. You don't even have to be, you can just stand around somebody. That's why it's always good to be aware where you're standing, what you're doing, who you're standing next to. That's why Indians burn sage, okay, to get rid of, diffuse the negative energy, because that plant tends to do that. You know, and excuse me. When you burn sage, let's say you light some sage up in a room and a person has a really, like, oh my God, don't do that, I don't like that, and they don't know why. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're full of negative energy and it's like cleaning them. Okay, but to them, they're so negative that it's a bad experience at first, or they don't like the smell, or they just don't like it. So that's an example of why it's important to like clean objects that you bring into your home, or to clean your home periodically with sage, the four corners of the room, and that type of thing. Even clothes, or sometimes if you've been out and had a kind of a negative day and been around negative people, come home and burn some sage and clear that energy. And then do some energy clearing exercises. It's all about energy. And it's nothing but energy. And there's nothing in this universe that cannot be that energy. Okay? Everybody is energy. You're energy, I'm energy, we're all made up of energy. The wall behind me is made up of energy. The color of it is an energy pattern that's vibrating at a certain rate. So everything is energy, and what we perceive actually through our mind, but this is all just an energy field. And I'll tell you a little secret: when you perceive something in a negative way, and it may not be negative, it's because you're looking through glasses like these, only they're in your mind. Okay? And the glasses may be your belief system that keeps you from seeing things in a different manner, or not being open to things, or having a closed mind, or being a tyrant, or a dictator, or a evil person. Evil just meaning adversarial, somebody that would block energy. Now, when I look at the world today and the wars and people murdering people and calling it okay, it's because the world is permeated with this energy, this stagnant energy, or bad energy, that's induced by belief systems and the acting out of these belief systems and the projecting of these belief systems on other people in mass. In mass. So that's why it's so important to be aware. Now, sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, although guilty, what's that? It's just a word, but sometimes you'll look at things and around the world, and you'll start getting depressed, or you'll start getting angry, or you'll start getting to this point where, hey, do people see this, or do they feel this? And it's not that you're angry at people, or that you're, it's just basically frustration that maybe you feel these things, or you're tuned in enough to feel these things, yet other people don't feel it, or they don't see it with their mind's eye, because you never really see anything with these eyes. It's always from the mind's eye, the third eye. So, like, I can only speak for myself, but I get frustrated sometimes, and I make comments, and I do things, and I always try to do things in a truthful manner, but I'm just like everybody else. I'm not special, I'm not perfect, and so I have to deal with my own issues, and I also look at the world issues. Okay, so you got to try to keep things in balance, renew, regenerate, things of that nature. And the easiest way to release tension, is to breathe. It's really simple, because as soon as you find yourself uptight, or as soon as you find yourself in a tense situation, or an angry situation, or a a hurtful situation, it's best to like breathe. And you always kind of like want to keep your spine erect and breathe into your abdomen beneath the navel. And the way you can do that is by taking your hand and placing it beneath your navel and breathing in. And when you breathe in, if your hand goes out, that means you're breathing into your abdomen. And when you breathe out, if your hand goes in, and you can actually press in a little, you can regulate your breathing into the Dantian, or the Chinese call it, the Taoists call it, the field of elixir, where you store your energy. And so when you breathe down into your abdomen, then you can feel the energy there tingling and building up. Then you can move that energy around into the different meridians of your body. Okay? Or you can use it for inner alchemy, or you can use it for tantra, making love to your partner, your spouse, your mate. You can exchange energy with them as you're making love. You can use this sexual energy. And again, I've said this before, that it's all really originates from the base, this energy, because we walk around on the planet, on Mother Earth, with our 2 feet, and we're planted into the base and the lower chakras, which is the sexual energy, which is very healing. That's another thing that keeps people from healing themselves and healing others, is their taboos on this sexual energy thing. They have all kinds of terms and conditions and rules and regulations that have been instilled in them or brainwashed into them since childhood about this taboo about sexual energy or sex, that somehow it's wrong. Instead of using that energy, which is the energy that you use, every master, every Taoist master, every Hindu master, any master on a meditative or yoga level knows that the energy starts down there and then you circulate it up and you rotate it around and you send it to different parts of your body so that it's not just localized. So if you do that, you're like letting the chi flow to all parts of your body. And you're letting this sexual energy flow to all parts of your body. I call it base energy, sexual energy, but it's the drive that we all have. We all have this drive. And it's energy. And so people want to make taboos about it, and they want to make do's and don'ts, and they want to say this is good or bad. No, there's nothing that's bad about it. It's all good. You just use it for your advantage and the advantage of other people in a healing capacity. So energy is a good thing, and we need to use that energy right now in this situation in the world, and we need to project energy, good energy, out to others and to the world in general. We need to breathe. So you do your abdominal breathing. And the way to do it, a good way to start off, just a little technique, is sit on a chair like I'm sitting on right now, spine erect, and feel as though you have a little hook up here that's kind of pulling your head up gently so that your spine is straight. It's completely straight and open. It's not uncomfortable, it's just straight. It's not like you're straining or anything, it's just straight. And then you put the tongue on the roof of your mouth, behind the teeth or on the hard part of the palate, and you breathe. And you breathe into your Dantian, or just below the navel, And you breathe in with your mouth closed through the nostrils. And as you do this, your feet are flat on the floor, your hands are resting gently on your lap. Your shoulders are dropped, just like they're sitting. And your hands are in your lap, and your feet are on the ground, and you imagine that your feet are like suction cups, or maybe have roots on them growing into the earth. Just like a blade of grass is solid at the bottom but blows in the wind on the top, okay? And as you breathe in, imagine breathing primordial chi into your being. And you can breathe it in right through your skin. You're breathing in oxygen, but you're also breathing in primordial chi, which is energy. And if you imagine the energy coming in, you'll feel it. You'll feel a tingling feeling. So this is the posture you want. Totally relaxed, spine straight. You don't want your chest too far out or too far back. And it doesn't matter how you look if your tummy or stomach is extended a little, because you're breathing down there. Don't even think about it. So keep your spine straight. Tongue on the roof of your mouth to complete the channel which runs down the front of your body and goes up the back. And breathe, people. And you'll find that as soon as and you can soften your gaze also. You're neither focused on an object or not focused. You're just kind of like off looking into the distance. Nothing in particular, just a soft gaze. Okay? You're not, it's as if anything out there really doesn't mean anything. You're just gazing out of your eyes. So that's relaxing too. It's almost like a smile in the eyes. And you breathe. Do that about 10 times and you'll feel a lot better, because you'll start noticing where the tension is in your body. And as you notice, breathe the chi to that particular part of your body and relax it on the exhale, you know? And you can exhale through your mouth when you're dispelling stagnant chi. And there's different colors for different body organs. And there's different sounds that you can use. They're called seed sounds. So you want to get into this mindset of where you're conscious all the time of all these different factors. Now, a good way to get into this is to study Qigong or Qigong. And it's spelled different ways. Qi, Qong, or Gong, Qigong. And it's a Chinese therapy that is based on energy and meditation and the martial arts. Sometimes martial artists do a series of these exercises to gain energy or to store energy or to pack energy. You can actually pack energy into different parts of your body and send it to different organs. And there's different movements that you can do with your hands, okay, as you're doing this. There's different ways to bring the chi into your aura with your hands as you're breathing and as you're standing or sitting in this posture. Now, if you're standing, you want to be standing with both feet about shoulder width apart, perfectly parallel, and your feet are flat on the ground. Your knees are always slightly bent so that the energy will flow through the joints. You always want to have your arms, even if they're down at your sides, or where you always want to have a slight bend, not a radical cramp, but a bend, a smooth circular bend in all of your being. Your knees are slightly bent, your old shoulders are slightly bent, your wrists are slightly bent, not radically, so that the chi will flow through your body unimpeded. Now when you lock a joint or lock a knee in place, it impedes the flow of the chi. So as you're doing these exercises, make sure that you're not locked up somehow, or if you're just standing in line at the grocery store or wherever, make sure that your posture is one of, your feet are on the ground and your knees are slightly bent. And you can even shift your weight back and forth, yin and yang, between one and the other, but keep your knees bent. These are just some little tidbit exercises. You can get into this deeper, and I might do a video and get into it a little bit deeper, but when you realize the subtleties of chi and the sound and the sounds of the universe that are healing, like for the lungs, they have a sound that's called sia, C-A, sia. And you do that as you expel stagnant chi. And you hold your hands in a certain position, sia, and force it out in a gentle manner. Those are called the sounds, the healing sounds, and there's several of them, and there's one for every organ in your body. There's one for the heart and the spleen and everything. And then there's other sounds that you might use in general as mantras to circulate the energy or circulate the chi. Now, this chi is so important in our life that we want to be aware of it at all times, at least on a subconscious level. Sometimes we forget. Don't beat yourself up for it. Oh, you say, I'm standing in front of the sink and my knees are locked. Oops, let's bend them a little. Oh, I'm not breathing. Okay. Wow, that feels better. Okay, just relax. Be in presence. Notice things around you, sounds. The hum of the refrigerator, the whatever. Be in presence. Notice slight little wisps of wind blowing against your body from different places, or how your clothes feel on your body. The sooner that you can tune into the subtleties of chi and the subtleties of feeling, that's when you're going to start getting into this other zone. And people, we need everybody to get into this zone. So I'll just kind of leave it there for today, but just realize that everything is chi, everything is energy. It's all about energy. We can shape shift into any kind of energy we want. We can be a mean ogre, or we can be a receptive, beautiful entity. We can be predominantly yin for a while or predominantly yang, depending on the circumstances. We can play around with it, have fun with it, have fun with your life. Because that's where the true enjoyment comes, is from within, and experimenting with your energy and being a self-healer and a healer of others by being a self-healer, because then your energy just becomes healing to other people. I thought I was way overdue for this kind of video because I've been putting a lot of videos out lately about world conditions, and so I'm trying to keep it in balance here. And I may mention world conditions at times because I think that, because as a receptor and a feeler of energy, I feel things getting intense, and it's like I get this inward urge, okay, to tell other people about it. But necessarily, that isn't necessarily appropriate at all times. Sometimes it's appropriate to get into more of a spiritual warrior, a Taoist warrior. So again, now, but see, you don't want to beat yourself up. As long as you realize what kind of energy you're projecting, you can have more control over it. And you can actually control situations around you. So if you want to believe in something, instead of giving your power away to some group of people, believe in yourself. Believe in your connection with the infinite, and that all you need is surrounding you. So I will say to you all right now, before I go, check out the Campfire Council, which teaches this kind of thing and propagates it. No, I want to thank the people that, a couple people send me donations, you know who you are. And I want to thank you for that. I don't always get on the email right away and get that done, but I want to thank the people for doing that, and we appreciate it. Campfire Council links are below, and I might put one up right here. It might pop up. Don't know. We'll see. We'll surprise you or not surprise you. Anyway, peace unto you. This is Thunder. Have a nice energy day. Have a positive energy day. Breathe, relax, and do the inner smile. We'll talk about that later. So, peace unto you. Thunder out.